We are Thingking. This is Lyall.
I'm Marc.
And this is Marc. We're going to talk to you about a project that we undertook for Safmarine in Khayelitsha, not far from here. It's a BMX center that we had the opportunity to work on called Velokhaya.
Velokhaya is in Khayelitsha, which is an informal settlement about 30 minutes outside of Cape Town. It's typically quite barren and dry and dusty. The center at the bottom over there has become a communal space for the kids.
So our design process was informed by this desire to make it more possible for community to happen there, and at the same time to foster stakeholdership. We didn't want to just put things in there that were kind of foreign and alien. These are just all images. The sign of the center was down, just the general sort of condition of the space.
So we'll run you through a couple of the small things that we did, and then there's some bigger kind of interventions that we did that we'll run through in some of the slides later. This is the notice board. We just made very simple icons of magnets that the kids could really play with, and obviously the notice board is a very important communication tool in the center.
Our focus with a lot of the things was quite like a pragmatic approach. What is the cheapest, most durable solution? These are just shelves that are made out of crates. It's like a simple hanging solution for the helmets to create more space within the center, seeing as it is inside containers. Yeah, just very basic.
This is a slide we're not too happy with, but
I like it. It's a loose association. Basically, all sorts of very useful objects. And this is what came out of it. So basically, very little design. It's if you just use the bucket and you create a very simple little bit of design, you don't compromise on the object's functionality. And in all those other images, you could see how useful it actually is. So this was our storage seating solution, and these were all finished at the center by the members.
All right, we painted the toilets. There's some external toilets in gold and black, the colors of the Velokhaya. The black is a chalkboard, so you can do your toilet humor and then it can be washed away. Yeah.
Cool. And then this was modified from an earlier product, but we wanted to create sort of like movable seats that couldn't sort of just be taken and pulled over the fence, seeing as it is in Khayelitsha. And this is waste, alien eucalyptus. This is like steel that's been dinged, so you can get it extra cheap. And we created these benches, provided 10 of them, and they're sort of staggered around the center.
As you can see, people really like to congregate around these benches, and they've become the central point, and they're used very varyingly. When there's a race day, they use them as a kind of grandstand, and in the bottom there you can see people using the bucket seats outside too.
I mean, this is the center for kids as well, so you have to have this feeling of play. In terms of fostering community, these are other simple things. It's not even really design. It's just things that people would come together or talk around, and we talk around food, eating meat, typically if you eat meat, and these objects are used for eating meat. Yeah.
This is just a slide to show everything together. So all these, and basically showing just the cleaner space. Previously, the helmets used to be on the seats, and there was no storage or seating. And an important part of what we did was we tried to include everyone at the center in the making. So we painted the seat covers there with all they did.
Yeah, this is basically, I showed you that there was that signpost was lying on its side. So we worked with Right on Africa and Bo Mastura, these Spanish artists that were down, and they sketched out a pattern onto the outside of the container, and then the whole community came and painted it together. So trying to foster this stakeholdership.
This is kind of end of day one of painting. You can see a lot of the community were there painting with us, and the Spanish guys were just awesome. So we had just like a lot of fun, made some braais.
Yeah.
Ate some meat.
Cool. So this is part of what it ended up looking like. And what was just interesting with this is that it was what everybody wanted. We didn't want the bike on the top, but everybody wanted that, and that was kind of like better for everybody, not necessarily for us, but
now we love the bike.
Yeah. But it's just like a loose curation. So the whole thing is a sign now.
This is the overall view, and it's really a beacon in the area now. It's a real icon, and I think the people of the centre and everyone that ever goes there are really, really proud of it, and that's kind of the most we could have hoped for.
Then our final thing was just Khayelitsha's wind lease. We wanted to use it, and there was this loose association thing with Buddhist prayer flags, where you can have like a good wish that blows in the wind, and it's always blowing in the wind. So we thought a lot about this and came up with something that you'll see very soon.
There it is. So we got 600 milk bottles and made a very simple jig, kind of handmade tools, and employed some people to cut out 1,800 little pedals. And this we assembled with cable ties at the center and strung them up onto the fence.
There's a little teaser at the top. So the thinking was that these things would flip in the wind. The axles in the fence became the actual thing that pivoted on, and people could write messages. And these good wishes or these imagining possibility is always blowing in the wind.
Affirmations.
Affirmations. And the fence kind of being an interface between people who are outside and those that are inside.
This is thank you very much. This is the overall impression, and basically using the fence as pixels, and what we did was kind of do a bunting thing, which bunting in itself kind of has a carnival atmosphere and really shows that something's always happening there.